The garden was gone, not erased, just closed. Somewhere behind them, east of where they now stood, the cherubim still kept their post, and the flaming sword still turned. But Adam and Eve had moved on. They had no choice but to move on. The world outside the garden was real, and it was waiting, and it did not pause for grief. And life continued. The most ordinary, extraordinary thing happened. Eve conceived, and she bore a son. She named him Cain, and when he was born, she said something remarkable. She said, "I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord." Her first words after her first child. Not a cry of pain, though there had been pain. God had promised that. Not a complaint, but a statement of something she recognized in that moment, holding this new life in her arms for the first time, that she had not done this alone. Then she bore another son. His name was Abel. 2 brothers, born into the same family, the same world, the same sky, and yet, from the very beginning, they were not the same. 2 brothers, 2 paths. Abel became a keeper of sheep. Cain became a worker of the ground. That is all the Bible tells us about their early lives. 2 sentences, 2 vocations. One tended animals, watching them, feeding them, learning the rhythms of living creatures. The other worked the earth. The same earth God had cursed, the same ground that now pushed back with thorns and thistles, demanding sweat and patience and years. Think about what that means for Cain. Every day he worked the very ground that bore the mark of his parents' failure. Every thorn that pricked his hands was a reminder of what had been lost. Every seed he planted went into soil that had been told to resist him. We don't know how many years passed. The Bible doesn't say, but at some point, in the course of time, as the text puts it, both brothers brought an offering to God. The offerings. Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. 2 offerings, one from the soil, one from the flock. And then the Bible says something that changes everything. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. God accepted Abel's offering. He did not accept Cain's. The text does not explain exactly why in this passage, it simply states it. And in that silence, in that gap between what happened and why, generations of readers have sat and wondered. Was it the nature of the offering? Was it the heart behind it? Abel brought the firstborn, the best, the first, before anything else was taken. Was Cain's offering merely what was left over? Was it given with the same care, the same intention? We are not told. But God saw something in the one that he did not see in the other, and Cain knew. The face that fell. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. Anger, and something beneath the anger, something heavier. Disappointment, humiliation. The particular pain of being the one not chosen when someone standing right next to you was. And God came to Cain, not in judgment, not yet, but with a question, and then with a warning that is one of the most striking passages in all of Genesis. Why are you angry? And why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Sin is crouching at the door. The image is of an animal, a predator, low to the ground, patient, waiting, not forcing its way in, just crouching there at the threshold, watching, waiting for the door to open. God told Cain directly, "It is there. You can see it, and you can master it. The choice is still yours." This is what makes what happens next so heavy. The field. Cain spoke to Abel, his brother. We are not told what he said. The conversation is missing from the text, and the silence where those words should be is louder than anything that could fill it. Whatever was said or not said, this is what followed. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. That is the entire sentence. No slow build, no drawn-out confrontation, one sentence, and the first murder in human history is over. A field somewhere east of Eden. 2 brothers, and then only one. Abel, whose name in Hebrew carries the meaning of breath, of vapor, of something fleeting, was gone. The one whose offering had been accepted, the shepherd, the younger son, gone. And the ground that Cain had worked all his life received his brother's blood. Where is your brother? Then God came to Cain and asked a question. Where is Abel, your brother? The same kind of question he had asked Cain's father in the garden. Where are you? Not a question of ignorance, a question that opens a door, giving the person a chance to step through it honestly. Cain did not step through it. He said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" 2 lies folded into each other. He knew exactly where Abel was, and the question thrown back, "Am I my brother's keeper?" was not really a question. It was a wall. It was a refusal. It was the sound of a door being slammed shut on the possibility of honesty. And God said to him, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." The blood had a voice. Abel was gone, but something of him remained, crying out from the soil that had absorbed him. The earth itself was a witness. And God continued, "And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth." The ground, the very thing Cain had devoted his life to, would give him nothing more. The farmer who had spent his years coaxing life from the soil would now wander across it, homeless, a stranger to the earth he had known. The mark. And Cain said to God, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." There is something unexpected in this moment. Cain, who had just killed his brother without recorded hesitation, now feared for his own life. The man who had not kept his brother was now afraid no one would keep him. And God responded, "Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord put a mark on Cain, so that no one who found him would attack him. What the mark was, the Bible does not say. It has been debated and imagined for thousands of years, but whatever it was, its purpose was protection. The man who had just committed the first murder was sent away, but sent away with a mark that said, "Do not touch him." Even here, in this darkest moment, something of mercy moved. East of Eden, again. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. East of Eden, again. The same direction his parents had walked when the garden closed behind them. As if every act of departure in this story moves the same way, further from the beginning, further from the garden, further from what had been. The land of Nod. The name itself in Hebrew comes from the same root as the word for wandering. He settled in the land of wandering. The fugitive made a home in homelessness. And life continued. Cain knew his wife. She conceived and bore a son. Cities were built. Generations passed. The world filled with people. All of them descendants of a man and a woman who had walked out of a garden, and their son who had walked away from the presence of God. And yet, back at the beginning of this chapter, before the offerings, before the field, before any of it, there is one more son born to Adam and Eve. His name was Seth. And when he was born, Eve said, "God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him." Another offspring instead of Abel. Life continuing. The thread not broken. Sit with this story for a moment before sleep comes. Two brothers, the same parents, the same world, the same God. And yet something in the space between them became a chasm that could not be crossed. Was it jealousy that killed Abel? Or something older and quieter? The slow accumulation of feeling unseen, unaccepted, passed over. God warned Cain before anything happened. The door was still open. Sin was crouching, but it had not yet entered. What would have happened if Cain had simply asked why? And that question God left hanging in the air. Am I my brother's keeper? It never really got an answer. Or maybe the whole rest of the Bible is the answer. In the next episode, the world has kept filling with people. Generations upon generations, spreading east, spreading outward. But something else has been spreading too. And God looks down at what the earth has become and grieves. One man finds favor. One man in an entire world that has turned away. And God speaks to him about a boat.